Hi, my name's Cameron Carlson with AnimeOnLocation.tv. I'm here at Ohayocon 2018 with my very good pal, Mr. Jewell.
Hello, everyone.
All right, so it's been about 2 years since the last time we got the chance to talk. I was at Ohayocon 2016. How have you been in the last 2 years?
I've been fairly well. I've been busy, very busy. We have the broadcast dub initiative going on these days, and that tends to take a lot of time, you could say. But I am well. Thank you for asking.
Good to hear that everybody's doing great. So, again, Fruits Basket. It will never end. It's now being updated again. What's it like seeing a lot of fans that are going to be new to be engaged with it, and then all us old fans that just loved it, and now it's being refreshed, and just given that nice spit polish to make it even better?
I'm interested to see what will happen in the future. Okay. Sometimes when things get an updated look, someone will get the bright idea to, hey, why don't we do a reboot of this, or why don't we do it? I don't know that will happen, but I don't ever want to count it out either. I'm always happy when more people get into Fruits Basket. It's a good show, if nothing else. It was well done the first time, and I'm sure that they would do amazing things with it if they decided to make something else. And we've been getting a lot of questions. Just in my last panel, I had a lot of questions of, if they do a second part of Fruits Basket, would you love to be? Oh, of course I would, but I'm much older now. We're talking 20 years down the line, so we who knows, maybe we'll have to make room for new Fruits Basket actors. We don't know. But I'm excited anytime it gets more fans.
A lot of that yelling probably took a big toll on the vocal cords.
It did. I was young back then.
Yeah.
I was young back then, so I bounced back a lot faster. Now I just have to be smarter about it.
Right. Alrighty, and now since we last talked, you've been in some Black Butler shows. How's it like going back and doing that, being a more smooth, calculated voice? I mean, honestly, you really make that like just character all the way around, in my personal opinion. I love it.
We try to keep in mind that Lau has probably always got something in his pipe that he's smoking, and I think that's where that comes from. That's what we try to put into it, is that sort of. I can tell you, before we did takes, oftentimes my trigger for that character is just to go.
Yeah, because he does that a lot during the scenes. Yeah.
And once I do that, I kind of get into the, oh yes, all right, everything's perfectly fine now. Yeah. So that's where that comes from.
Honestly, his lines are really well done. On top of that, him kind of being a villain/enemy in certain points of the show, like, makes it even better.
But a likable one. Right. And those are the characters I like the most, are ones that you go, okay, well, they're a bad guy, but for some reason I still like them. Yeah. It makes you feel, it makes you question your own morality a little bit, I think.
Right. So sometimes you have to cry or yell in an intense manner and bring that emotional depth to those moments. How do you keep your voice, like we said, sharp? Like you said, 20 years ago, much younger gentleman, able to bounce back 10 times faster. But age has progressed everyone. I'm not excluding myself here. So how do you? And voice actors have to bring so much to the table to get those really deep emotional contexts out. How would you describe getting that out to those types of scenes, and then keeping yourself good to go to the next emotional scene?
Right. I think the first thing is don't take it too lightly. Try to have your head in the game when you're doing it. Because the best thing you can hope for is that you don't have to do it too many times. So the more concentrated you are on what you're doing at the time, if you can put yourself into that first take, and if you can really pay attention to your timing and all of those things, if you can strike that balance the first time, then you've just saved a lot of wear and tear on your voice. The other thing is always have water with you. Always, after you yell, scream, cry, any of that stuff, take a drink, take some water, because it's the best thing for your voice anyway. And there are also things like throat coat that people use that work pretty well. And be conscious of technique. There will be yells and things like that in certain shows that are going to be very taxing on your throat no matter what you do, because you are trying to get that sort of pained sound in there. But you don't have to do that all the time. No. Sometimes you can be emotional with intensity instead of volume. Correct. And that's an important thing to remember as well.
Sometimes being up on the mic is not a good idea.
Not always. Not always.
Alrighty. A big show that has come out since the last time we got to talk was My Hero Academia. How's it going being in that show and then having so many fans come up and talk to you about it, and also having it being a streamable show right on Funimation.com?
It's great. I mean, it's great. It's always great when people are into a show. But because it is a broadcast dub show, it's always a surprise. I mean, you never know when Nezu's going to show up anyway. It's because it's here and there. It's kind of spotty. He shows up, but it's not all the time. And when he does, you don't know what he's going to have. I usually don't know I'm recording for that show until I get booked for it. Okay. And then I don't know what I'm saying in that show until I get in the studio. Yeah. And then you do it, it's over, you're gone, and you go, I wonder if I'll ever be back to play that mouse bear thing again.
In like 2 days.
Yeah. But it seems like a good show. It seems like a lot of people are into it, so...
Awesome. I mean, myself, I personally need to check it out, to be honest with you. I haven't seen it yet.
I would rectify that if I were you. That's you should do that before you talk about shows. Is maybe you should check them out every now and then.
I mean, I do my research on them.
Well, that's good. That's at least halfway there. Yeah. I'll take that. At least you read about it.
Yeah, I did, and I watched some clips.
Okay, well that's close enough.
Yeah. So, you're bringing your Russian accent back for Yuri on Ice. What was it like to get a lot of fan love for that show as well? I mean, I'm going to pick it up on Blu-ray and DVD and watch it as straight as one solid go because I'm friends with Mr. Damon Mills. So there's the Russian connection as well with you. So what was it like bringing that whole Russian accent back from Russia, doing Hitalia, to now doing a real Russian for an ice skating show?
I'm fairly sure that that's how I got the part in the first place. And I say that because my recollection of that entire situation was we had a director's meeting to discuss who we were all going to be using so we don't accidentally cast one person in too many shows. Right. And Sonny, I don't know if Sonny had seen the first episode or if he had just seen the first episode, but he was going around the room to people going, do you have a Russian accent? Do you have a Russian accent? Do you have a Russian accent? And Chris Bevins was there at the time, standing next to me, and Sonny came up to me and says, do you have a Russian accent? And Bevins looks at him and goes, he's Russia in Hitalia. He goes, okay, cool. And then I was being booked for it. So, I mean, there wasn't a lot of in between there. So I think it was like, he's got a Russian accent, he's a grown man, he can play a grown man with a Russian accent. And I think that's how that worked out. But I do think it's a great show. I think it's a beautiful show.
I haven't seen it, but just looking at
the animation is amazing. Yeah. It is a beautiful show, and it's a good story. Yeah. A lot of the stuff that has come up around that show, I almost feel detracts from the show. Because it's not what it's about. Yes, it is about love. It is about working hard. It's about skating. It's about all those things. But don't let that get you lost in about the show. Some of that is just created because fangirls like to have very imaginative situations in their heads. But it's a gorgeous show. It's a beautiful show. I think you're really gonna like it.
I'm gonna buy it once it's available. Now, again, this year, our lovely friend, Mr. J. Michael Tatum, is being roasted tonight, and he happened to roast you last time. So how are we going to get Mr. Tatum back?
We're friends, so I mean, I don't think we could offend each other truly if we tried.
I know you wouldn't.
I don't think we could. So I think I'm just going to pay a little homage to some of he and I are fans of the old roasts.
Yeah.
The Dean Martin roasts and the.
That's when they were real roasty.
Well, and they were classy. They were classy. They were with love. It wasn't all about who can say the dirtiest words about someone. So I think I'm going to try and make a little callback to that. Just mostly for him, because forget the rest of the audience. This is for him. I don't care about what they like and what they don't like. Yeah. I'm going to try and bring a little bit of that back for him.
Well, I'll be there this evening checking it out. So now, are there any upcoming projects you want fans to know about at this time that aren't behind the pesky NDA wall?
Well, it's the NDA wall has found quite a few holes in it over the past couple years due to broadcast dubs.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're putting out episodes every week, what are you going to hide from anybody? So I'm not sure about what I can't talk about anymore. Of course, there's the Funimation Now, where you can find more anime than you are ever going to be able to watch. And if you think you can, I challenge you. Go sign up for it and see if you can watch all that anime, because you can't. More anime than you can shake a stick at. Unless you're a professional stick shaker. But it's everyone go to Funimation, and right now I'm working on a show called Katana Maidens. I believe the second episode will be coming out Sunday. I think Sunday. Don't hold me to that. Sunday. And I'm also working on Star Blazers, Space Battleship Yamato, $21.99.
Wow, that's an old school great one.
Well, they did a reboot in 2012, and we're doing that on the broadcast dub schedule, and it's a great space show. So if you like great space shows, definitely check it out.
Space lasers.
Yeah, that.
Alrighty, now I know you do have a little bit of social media. Where can fans check you out if they want to keep up with you? And a final message to all the fans that have just given you love and support for all this many wonderful years of your career.
Okay, well, there is always sillygingermonkey.com. You can get a hold of me or do whatever on that. I've been getting fan letters at Funimation sometimes. I don't always recommend doing that, but if you can't find any other way to get a hold of me, then that is an option. Please don't let it be your first option. There are a lot of busy people there who have real jobs and things to do, and we don't want to bother them. Plus, Tatum gets too much mail there anyway. But... I, of course, have a Facebook page that I never look at, but whenever something very nice is said on it, the person that does look at it always tells me. Yep. So that's a thing. And I would really just like to say thank you for all of the support you've given not only me, but all of the other voice actors. And forget the voice actors, we're just a means to dubbing it into English. Thank you for supporting the industry itself, the Japanese anime that makes all of this possible, because without that source material, none of this would be happening. And there are a lot of very dedicated people who who it is their life. These shows are their lives, and they work very hard to bring them to us. And they're very kind to let us work on them and to be any part of them at all. So I would like to thank the fans for supporting us for all these years.
And again, Jerry, thank you so much for coming out and talking with me. It's been a wonderful pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.